One holo left. Imagine just writing that down. Like your 99.85% of your goal. That's just, oh, dude, I'm ecstatic.
Hey everybody, what's up from Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. You know, recently I was watching a video of one of my favorite PokeTubers and one of my favorite collectors out there, and that's Zach, Gem Mint Pokemon, as he's narrowing in on a major, monumental accomplishment within the Pokemon collecting space. Now, for the longest time, Zach has had his sights set on collecting one of every PSA 10 holographic card from the Wizards of the Coast era, and he is getting unbelievably close to checking the last few off of his list. In fact, recently he attained the PSA 10 Unlimited Blissey, which was the second to last card that he needed. That one's only a population 1, so congratulations on that pickup, Zach. I'm sure you're excited for that one. I believe that leaves it down to just Ampharos Unlimited from Neo Revelation before Zach is able to claim that entire accomplishment. So I'm pretty excited for you, Zach, and I think all of us in the Pokemon community are really rooting for you here. On that note, I wanted to talk about Scarcity as it relates to Pokemon card collecting. Now, you guys have probably watched and listened to Scott S.M. Pratt, who's constantly preaching the market fundamentals, and I think he's absolutely right. And when it comes down to it, rarity, scarcity, and condition are three important factors which coalesce to form what we could consider a card's given value. Now today specifically, I wanted to talk about scarcity and how the availability of a card influences its price, as well as the sustainability and stability of that given price. Now it's true that scarcity or a low population isn't the end-all be-all when it comes to determining the value of any given card. That the popularity of the actual Pokemon is tremendously important, as is the condition of the card that's being assessed. However, I do think that population and scarcity, how many are available on the market at any given time, is also tremendously important and something that a lot of casual collectors are quick to overlook. In a world overflowing with Pokemon card collectors, many of whom want the greatest condition available for their collections, having a low population or finite amount of cards available on the market at any given time is only going to increase competition for that card. This is a case where there's less supply yielding greater or perhaps more consistent demand. In short, a lower population for a given card generally is going to yield more stability. On that note, today I wanted to take a look at some of the lowest population English set cards ever released. Now we're going to divide this video into two separate videos. Today we'll specifically be looking at first edition holographic cards from the Wizards of the Coast era, and then later we'll check out the unlimited side and see how those populations stack up with one another. It might not be exactly what you think. Anyway guys, let's roll into today's top 10 list. At number 10 on this list is a tie between two cards, Porygon 2 of Neo Revelation and Smeargle of Neo Discovery. Now both these cards have a population of 20, and that is exceptionally low. In fact, think about this for a second. That means only 20 collectors worldwide could ever hope of achieving either of these two sets completed in PSA 10. That's just by nature of this one card. And each of these cards isn't even the most scarce of its respective set. It's pretty wild to think about. In fact, demonstrating the importance of scarcity, Porygon 2 had its last public sale almost 2 years ago. This is a card that does not get up for sale very often. On the other hand, Smeargle had one sale since 2018. That was here in 2020 in April, where it sold for $8,000. That's a really expensive card, especially for a dog painting with its tail. I'm just kidding. I love Smeargle, one of my favorites. At number 9, with a population of 19, is Magneton from Neo Revelation. Now we saw Porygon 2 on here earlier, but not to be outdone, Magneton comes in with just 19 copies currently in circulation in PSA 10. Now, Magneton, not one of the most popular Pokemon out there. In fact, people have joked about how Wizards of the Coast had some strange infatuation with Magneton, releasing it in almost every one of its holographic sets. Nevertheless, this is a very difficult card to acquire, coming at 4 figures. The last sale was in March of 2021, where it went for $3,383. Having said that, this is one of those cards that just isn't going to come up very often for sale. That's our only sales point in over a year, really in over 2 years. So even though it's not my favorite, I guess we have to respect the magnet Pokemon. Next up at number 8 is Feraligatr from Neo Genesis. Now this is our first Neo Genesis card on this list, but it certainly won't be the last, and what a way to do it. Feraligatr number 5, a card that was highly playable in decks back in the day, but also one that looks absolutely beautiful. Now this card is another one that just doesn't come up for sale very often. In fact, the last public sale of this card was in 2018, back in August, so almost exactly 3 years ago. This card only has a population of 18 in first edition PSA 10, and it's a card that's very difficult to set your sights on. Nevertheless, there have been a number of sales of this card over the years. From 2017 all the way to 2018, there's been 6 different data price points. We can see how quickly and how consistently the price has increased over those years. Nevertheless, hard to get a good valuation on how much this card would go for today, given the current state of the market and how difficult these cards are to find. That opportunity cost is a real thing. At number 7 on our list of scarcity is another 2-way tie, this time between 2 cards from Neo Genesis. We've got Meganium number 10, as well as Metal Energy. Now most people when they pull an energy aren't super enthusiastic about it, but if the energy you pulled is a Metal Energy, first edition, and it grades a PSA 10, then that is certainly cause for celebration. Metal Energy, at a population of 17, is a very difficult card to acquire. It's a very difficult card to grade with a lot of holofoil surface. Having said that, the last sold copy in PSA 10 was in February of 2021 for just over $2,000. There's also been 4 other sales going as far back as 2017 for a total of 5 sales in the last 4 years. It's a very difficult card to find, one that doesn't hit the market very often. Now the same could also be said of Meganium number 10, but on steroids. Meganium number 10 last sold in January of this year for a high price tag of $12,000. Prior to that, the only other sales point available for a public sale was in 2017. So this card has only hit the market twice in the last 4 years. At number 6 on our list, and continuing our parade of Neo Genesis holographic cards, is Heracross. With just 16 copies in PSA 10 first edition, Heracross is a tremendously difficult card to grade. And I can tell you this from personal experience. Not only have I graded a number of Heracross cards, none of which were even close to getting a PSA 10, but I've also had very difficult time finding them for sale. In fact, there's only been 2 public data points of sale in the last 4 years, with the most recent card being sold in October of 2017, almost 4 years ago. Very difficult card to acquire, but one that's necessary for any set completionists hoping to finish Neo Genesis in PSA 10. Continuing our list with number 5 is Misdreavus from Neo Revelation, with a population of just 15 first edition PSA 10 copies currently in circulation. Now, fun fact for you guys, I actually graded 3 of those 15 copies myself over my many years of Pokemon card collecting. Now, foolishly, I didn't hang on to any of those 3 copies. The first 2 I sold for other collection pieces that I needed to fund, and the third one I had up on eBay for a pretty high price that I didn't think would actually sell until somebody pulled the trigger. So that was actually the last public sale data that we have is from that sale in June 2020, and that card sold for $5,000. Anyway, with Misdreavus, there's been 6 other public sales, so this card has actually had quite a bit of movement in the last 4 years, from 2017 all the way up to present time in 2021. But nevertheless, with just 15 cards graded in first edition PSA 10 condition, this is one of the most difficult cards to find and to grade. At number 4 on our list is our second card from the Neo Discovery set, and that's Yanma. With a population of just 13 cards in first edition PSA 10 condition in circulation, Yanma is one of the most difficult to find, to grade, and to acquire cards, creating an obstacle for many set completionists out there. In fact, there's only been 4 public data sales points available in the last 4 years, with the most recent sale coming in February of 2021 for just over $11,000. Prior to that, there was a $15,000 sale in the fall of 2020. However, in the years before that, there were only 2 other sales. So this is a card that does not come up for sale very often. And when it does, it's that opportunity cost that's really driving the value for this particular card. It may just be a bug Pokemon, but you have to respect Yanma for its low population. Cracking the top 3 on our lowest population countdown list is another tie between 2 ridiculously hard to grade cards. Typhlosion number 17 from Neo Genesis and Ampharos from Neo Revelation. Now both of these cards have a population of just 11 and have only recently crossed the double-digit territory in population count. However, these are both cards that you almost never find available on the open market. In fact, neither one of these cards has any public sales data available for the last 4 years. In fact, there are 2 available on eBay right now, both of which are above the $65,000 price tag. Now, that's an asking price versus a sales price, so we could debate what the actual value of the card should be, but again, this is a card that is almost never for sale. Similarly, the same could be said of Ampharos, which is another card that I've almost never seen available for sale. In fact, I don't even have any comparative data to make a reasonable estimate over what this card should be valued at. It is a card that I would love to someday own, to have in my own personal collection, but that's probably a pipe dream, and for now, I can be happy with just a PSA 9 version. Still though, that's a pretty sweet card. Both of them. At number 2 on our list, with a population of just 10 cards in first edition PSA 10 condition, is Slowking from Neo Genesis. Now, a lot of people assume that Typhlosion is the lowest population card in all of Wizards of the Coast, let alone its own respective set of Neo Genesis. However, Slowking actually beats out Typhlosion by just 1 copy. With only 10 PSA 10 copies in circulation, Slowking is actually the most difficult card to find for Neo Genesis. Now, this card has only had 1 public sale, and that takes us all the way back to November of 2017. It's been about 4 years since this card has been sold. Right now, there are 2 actually listed on eBay, which is pretty surprising. That's 1/5 of the population, but each of those cards have values, asking prices of $55,000 and $90,000 respectively. So it's unlikely that those are going to change hands anytime soon. Nevertheless, I think Slowking deserves some love, not just for its low population, but for its incredible artwork and its playability upon its initial release. It truly is a historical card, in more ways than one. Finally, at number 1 on our list, the lowest population first edition English holographic card is Blissey from Neo Revelation. Now, this card has a population of just 8. We're talking single digits here. However, it's still mind-boggling to think that out of all the cards ever produced and distributed, collected, and then submitted to PSA, that only a handful of those cards, just 8, would achieve that prestigious PSA 10 condition rating. Now, this does make a little bit of sense, as Blissey is a colorless Pokemon and has that lighter holofoil surface, and that surface area is often more apt to reveal factory print lines and scratches than some of those darker colors. Now, having said that, the sales data for Blissey is almost non-existent. There was 1 sale that I could find in the public record, and I'm not sure if this sale actually went through and was ever completed, but according to the sales data, in April of 2021, this year, a Blissey was sold for $90,000. Now, I don't know if that was a best offer situation where we're not privy to what that best offer price was, or if this was a sale that was never fulfilled and never paid for. I don't really know, but that $90,000 price tag seems absolutely wild to me. Having said that, we have seen a number of cards go for the upper 5 figures, and some set cards even go into 6 figures, so who knows, it could be a possibility. I don't know for sure. Nevertheless, Blissey is the undisputed champion when it comes to low population cards in Wizards of the Coast first edition set collecting. Again, really interesting to look at the data for some of this, and one of the patterns that has emerged is Neo Revelation is the most difficult to grade set, with Neo Genesis close behind. In fact, if you notice, every one of the cards on this list come from the Neo sets, and that's one of the many reasons why those are my personal favorites. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to wrap this one up by reiterating the importance of scarcity. Now, there are a number of factors that influence the value and collectability of any collectible asset, and population or scarcity is just one of those factors. We also need to take into consideration the popularity of the Pokemon and how that appeals to a wider, vaster audience, as well as the availability of any given card on any given marketplace at any given time. Together, all of these factors play an important role. Anyway, guys, hope you learned something from this one. It was certainly fun for me to go back through and look at all these low population cards, some of which I'll probably never achieve in my lifetime, but one can dream. Anyway, guys, I'm Pokemon Classics, reminding you that the classics never go out of style. We'll see you all with the next video. Till then, live well and have fun. We'll see you with the next one. Bye, everybody.